let's see Mr. Hasan Obama Bin Laden Piker.
Hasan was detained and questioned at a Chicago airport on
Moss
his way
Piker.
back home from his trip to France.
Bin Laden.
And he tweeted about it and went on
Obama.
stream to talk about the story. He claims that they asked him about his ban on Twitch, his views on Israel-Palestine, if he supports Hamas and the Houthis, and a whole bunch more. And after this went viral, the Assistant Secretary for the Department of Homeland Security
Oh, she actually responded. Get fucked, bitch.
responded to Hasan's claims, saying that the story is made up and he is lying.
His stories
Hasan
are
fired
made.
back, pointing out that she completely omitted the entire questioning aspect of his experience. Asmongold also weighed in, saying that this is actually a good thing that Hasan was detained, because it is what we should want as Americans. In his words, saying that people who support terrorist groups should have additional questioning done to them by the TSA, which of course sparked a whole back and forth between himself and Hasan. Welcome to the internet versus Hasan's detainment. It starts when Lobo tweets out, "Immigration attorneys in Chicago, please DM me ASAP. Emergency situation needing potential on-the-ground assistance." And then 30 minutes later, Hasan replies, "It's okay, I'm out." And Lolo says CIA clearance went through. Hasan then tweets out, "It happened," with this picture of himself. And NP Law replies, "Father?" Truth versus Left says, "You were finally charged for being a terrorist." And Anissa Jomla replies, "Congratulations." Hasan then quote tweets himself saying, "I got stopped by CBP at Global Entry for additional questioning. I'm out, it wasn't that bad."
I mean, he's obviously trying to use this event to boost his career and reputation. Come on.
Strange experience overall though. Mr. Perry replies, "Customs/Border Patrol is out of control. This will scare away tourism
Mr.
fast."
Perry?
Waffle Samurai says, "Well, that was completely preventable on your part, wasn't it?" C. Miss Malik replies, "Been pulled into secondary screening many times, and O'Hare CBP had the most involved and specific questions about Gaza for me by far. Glad to see you got out of there without having to give up your devices." Dank Wiper replies to Hasan by saying, "How did that
Oh, I see. Because there's been a lot of people who have been saying some shit about the terrorist shit. So they are logging people. They are writing names down. They will fucking question you.
feel? Being alone without a chat full of people and just having to respond with the shit slopping around in your brain? Man, must have been
they're
yeesh, lots
taking
of
notes.
yes sirs. Then Hasan Abi Productions
They're
tweets out
doing
this
a
clip
little
with the caption,
investigation,
"Twitch streamer
you
Hasan
know?
Piker confirms that the Trump administration has been monitoring him for some time. They detained him at the airport and asked him about his Twitch bans and his anti-Trump coverage."
He knew exactly who the fuck I was, but he was basically like, he always made it seem as though he was asking certain things that after discovering in the process of that conversation, he would ask additional questions. So he kept saying, "What do you do as a job? Do you talk about the news?" And I was like, "Yeah, I talk about the news." And he kept saying, "Okay, so when you talk about the news, do you talk about the war?" And I was like, "What do you mean by that?" He's like, "Do you talk about Trump?" And that was the first time where I was like, what the fuck is this question? Like, I literally straight up told him, I was like, "Why are you asking me this?" Like, I was like, what does this have to do with anything? Yeah, they asked me about my fucking Twitch bans, chat. It's not even a joke. They asked me about fucking Twitch chat, like Twitch bans. The reason for why they're doing that is, I think, to try to create an environment of fear, to try to get people like myself, or at least
environment of fear? What the fuck are you talking about? Nice way to blow it out of proportion again. I mean, we already covered this this part when was it, like yesterday or 2 days ago?
It's like others that would be in my shoes that don't have that same level of security to shut the fuck up. And for me,
I mean, Hasan
I'm going to
doesn't
use
shut
the privilege
fuck
that
up.
I
That's
have
the
in that
issue.
moment
He likes
to
being
try
a
and see
fucking
what the
piece of
fuck
shit
they're doing.
and lying about shit and
AKA
bullshit.
replies, "Nobody from the Trump admin has ever heard of him. Bro thinks he's a big deal." Just Ben says, "Step 1, am I detained? If not, they should let you leave. Step 2, don't say shit. Lawyer up immediately." Joey Salads replies to the clip by saying, "Dude probably got randomly selected, and due to his support of terrorism, they asked the correct questions." And Billiam replies, "Aren't you the mouth pisser guy?" guy. Trigger tweets Hasan on B Productions by saying, maybe don't sympathize with every terror group on the planet and you wouldn't have to deal with DHS. The coordinator quote tweets the clip and says, guy spends 8 hours a day promoting literal terrorists to 14-year-olds. Gets monitored. Surprised Pikachu face. Yugo quote tweets the clip with this picture in the caption, yo Yugo, why are you so adamant about wearing a mask on stream? Barbarism critic quote tweets the clip and says,
this is his
it's actually
background.
so cool how none of us can travel internationally now without risking something like this. It's not just high-profile people this is happening to, and who knows what lists any of us who post publicly and have protested are on. Actual Justice Warrior quote tweets the clip by saying, he doesn't confirm this, he alleges this. He's a known liar and admitted propagandist alleging something incredibly beneficial to his career. This is highly suspect,
look,
and whatever
that's all
portion
he's
that's
trying to
true
do. He's
is
trying to
likely
use
due
this
to his
to boost his
repeated
career,
support
right?
for designated terrorist organizations. Augie RFC quote tweets
Right,
the
the
clip by
more
saying,
people talk
massive
about
W
his,
at White House, and
his
Smaggle
name
replies, nah,
outside
it's a
of
massive
Twitch
L
and
because they
whatnot.
let him leave.
I mean,
and
they're
Augie
just
says,
gonna
send him
try
back
and
to the
right,
desert.
figure
Alvin
right,
the
they're
albino
just gonna
quote tweets the
try and
clip
watch
and
the
says,
streams, right?
fascism.
That's
He
what
tweets
people.
out this
That's
clip
what
in the
he
caption,
wants.
Hasan puts the blame on Ethan Klein
wants
and his
the views.
slaptubers for getting him detained. For the record, I'm not sure who the other people in trouble would be that he's referring to besides himself.
A lot of the shit that like the Ethan Kleins of the world have like cried about over and over again were unironically brought up in that fucking conversation. And I was shocked. I was shocked.
Why are you shocked when you fucking put it out on the goddamn YouTube? What? You literally put it on the fucking internet. How can you be shocked? Like what? Motherfucker, you have a digital footprint a mile goddamn long. Holy shit.
Hey, not like the bleach sword, obviously, but like the Houthi. Like, did you interview a Houthi? It says here that you interviewed a Houthi. And I was like, or was he actually a Houthi? And I was like, he's not. You can look to all of the reporting that came out afterwards and before I interviewed him that he is not a Houthi, that he is a regular Yemeni citizen. And I said, like, his name is Rashid al-Haddad. He is not even a Shia. And the dude, luckily, again, Iraqi, went, oh, yeah, that's right. That's a Sunni last name. Al-Haddad is a Sunni last name. So he must not have been a Houthi. The very fact that that was like a point of contention that could have fucking gotten me arrested is insane.
What do you mean?
And I genuinely, and that
what? No, he was not going to arrest you because fucking sucked his dick. Okay, calm down.
that moment was thinking like, these fucking dumbass slop tubers are actually playing
hey
with
man,
fucking
you're the one
fire.
who sucked his
And
dick.
I even thought about not even mentioning this because I was like, I don't want to give him any sort of like power over the situation. But like the reality of the matter is 100% the Trump administration is inadvertently working with a lot of these fucking dipshits. These dipshits are playing a formative role in getting people in trouble with the law. Okay?
What do you mean? I mean, if someone made a an FBI post about how Hasan has been advocating for terrorists do horrendous shit, I mean that's on you, right? I mean, you're caught on stream every time talking about it, right? They can just pull up videos of your dumbass talking about it all the goddamn time.
Literally the case. It was shocking that that was the case, but it is the case. And it's actually very frustrating that it is the case, that this administration doesn't care. That's why they work with Beitar. That's why they work with all these other fucking insane groups. The Barry Weisses of the world actually have motion in this goddamn admin.
Papa Gut replies to the clip by saying, so Hasan is admitting he didn't know Al-Haddad was a Sunni last name, but he wants us to think he's an expert on Middle Eastern affairs.
Yeah.
Sargon of Akkad replies, my god, his head is so tiny. Yeats continues the
This is
thread.
the face
Hasan
I have
likes
to
to
give
point
to
out the
Hasan.
agents are getting clips from slaptubers, Reddit, etc. The thing that confuses me is why would he expect
This guy's
people who
face
post them negatively
represents
to
it
make more
all.
clips of him that don't
It's just
exist.
like,
Clips are clips. Source is
yeah,
irrelevant.
sure.
The TK replies, they're using you as a source, dipshit. Not Puppies Monitor also posts this clip on the Livestream Fail subreddit. And Heavy Masterpiece replies, almost ran into a similar situation at LAX. The officer was giving me a bunch of crap because I told him I was returning from Japan visiting family with my wife. And he thought it was suspicious that my wife was not with me. We went in separate lines because it said single file only. me, and he started farther questioning me about random stuff, making me more nervous. Some of these agents are just absolute assholes who fail to grasp that some people's mental acuity might not be at their highest after a 12-hour flight. College Broski replies to the clip, should buy the Trump gold card.
He
And
also
Tarantula
did this,
says
by
he's
the way.
already a U.S. citizen though.
Right, and then
Fresh
he
Wealth
did
replies, but then
the
he'll be a
whole
double
Tim
citizen,
Scott
which has
thing,
got to be
or,
better, right? The
whatever,
Lucky Llama
Mark Scott
replies,
or
an
whatever.
American citizen being questioned about their political alignment when entering America is a serious issue, even if you don't like the person. Edit, an awful lot of you don't
I mean,
understand
they
what
probably
free
saw
speech
him do
means, which is
this.
concerning. But
Probably
sure,
do
if
his
you want to
little
leave
Mark
another,
Scott
but he's a
rant.
terrorist supporter comment with the dozens of others
The
who
whole
have no idea how the
hoping
UNA works, go
America
right
gets
ahead and
9/11
wonder what replies.
again.
Thank you. I can't believe so many comments are essentially giddy at this news and commenting
Hey.
zingers as to why he had it coming. This
I'm
is
fine with him
chilling and
getting
it's not
fucked up by
normal,
the government.
period. Yamakamikaze replies, the replies here are wild. I get the hate Hasan sentiment, but he said they asked his thoughts about Trump. If you ever put on Reddit your disagreements and disparagement about Trump, guess what? You could be next. Wild to celebrate this, even though it's someone this
I mean,
hate.
the only reason why I think he's kind of like over dramatizing it is because he said that one thing. Oh, it's because did you asking a rough clip. Come on, I don't think they really. I'm pretty sure they asked you about the fucking terrorist shit you've been spewing.
And Crash Test Orphan replies, people LSF will side with Hasan over. Trump, sometimes. Elon Musk. Tectone last week. End of list. Very Night Tristan replies to the title of the clip and says, not what he said at all, but okay. And Jada Chocolate says, wait, how isn't he saying that? He blamed Slaptubers for spreading that he likes terrorism. What am I?
Yeah, he was kind of blaming YouTubers or just content creators in general. Well, I mean, he also blamed Asmongold too.
I'm missing. Will RK Jr. replies, what you said is not people making videos on his content as the post describes. Specifically, plenty of people made content on his interview with the Yemeni kid, but what they approached him about was the accusation that the kid was a Houthi. That specific accusation only comes from the Slaptubers and is demonstrably false. So false that even the Iraqi CBP officer understood with a simple explanation. A more accurate title would be, Hasan claims he was detained trying to enter the US due to false accusations from Slaptubers, because people are free to make content and criticize each other, but that isn't what has happened. Motodoso posts in the H3 Production subreddit, it doesn't matter
What
if
do you
Hasan—
mean? Everyone's criticizing Hasan. Why do you think he gets so mad sometimes? Suck it, bitch! Suffer! You need to suffer more, bitch.
was detained on May 12th. It doesn't change the dynamic for me. I'm only doing one. Attaching this meme saying, you were detained by ICE? Let's see the transcript. Recently deceased replies, I agree.
Honestly, I want to see the body cam footage of that shit. I wish there was body cam footage of when they detained Hasan. Oh my god, that would have been so juicy.
But I also remember him saying on Leftovers that he gets held up by customs every time he returns to the country.
Oh
And
man,
he
that'd be
reminisced
so.
the time he
Oh
found
my
out
god,
that
that'd be
doesn't
so
happen to
fucking
everyone,
good.
alluding to his ethnicity. Rudy Buster replies, found it.
Every
Linking to
time
their
he
own Reddit post with
travels
the title,
overseas.
EK works alongside CBP to get Hasan detained routinely as far back as 2023.
Look, my name is Hasan, okay? I have traveled to and from the United States of America. I know those fucking shits are not random. Do you understand? Like, I always get random ID checked, even though I have fucking clear. Or I always will have, like, additional...
How dare you accuse them of not being honest with the button? For myself, I think it is random. I've never been selected.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and my experience is random.
Yeah, exactly. But I always get selected. Like, when I'm coming into America, they always pull me to the
He always does that to us.
side. And the second selection is so annoying because they do it right as you board on the plane. I don't know if you know this. Right as you board on the plane, they will pull you to the side and go, oh, sorry, you got randomly, it shows on the records that we have to randomly search you. Because when you're about to board the plane, you're like, all right, I made it. Like, this is the final checkpoint. Like, you're not supposed to be
I mean, he says all
Yeah.
this, but I've
Like,
never
literally,
experienced someone go through that.
before you get on the ramp, in between.
Not in my entire life. Well, then again, I haven't been going overseas, so that's probably different. I've been staying in the U.S., like, fucking Louisiana, with my family. Other than that, yeah, even when traveling, I've never seen someone go through that issue. I think it's just him because he's a retard.
You know where they're like touching your, like when they're clicking on your boarding pass.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Past that. Or there.
at that point,
Okay,
yeah, they just
okay.
stop you there, and they're like, "We have to do one more search." Sorry.
Back over to the original tweet that Hasan put out where he announced that it happened. Tricia McLaughlin, the Assistant Secretary for the Department of Homeland Security, then quote tweets Hasan by saying,
Oh, okay. So this is Tricia McLaughlin. This is the transportation, Secretary of Transportation right now. Lying for likes claims that this political beliefs triggered the inspection are baseless. Our CBP officers are not following the law, not agendas. Wait, our CBP are following the law, sorry, not agendas. Upon entering the country, this individual was referred for further inspection, a routine lawful process that occurs daily and can apply for any traveler. Once this inspection was complete, he was promptly released. You have it.
lying for likes, claims that his political beliefs triggered the inspections are baseless. Our CBP officers are following the law, not agendas. Upon entering the country, this individual was referred for further inspection.
Oh yeah, maybe
A
I
routine
could probably
unlawful
ask
process
my cousins, because my cousins go visit France every now and then.
that occurs daily
I mean, they probably
and
get
can
a
apply for
little
any traveler. Once his inspection was complete, he
Other
was
than that,
promptly released.
I
Hasan
think
then
it only
responds to this
happens if
by
you're going
saying,
overseas.
The DHS response is so funny because they're not even disputing that
They
it
want to
happened.
make sure
They're
you're not
omitting
going to
the
fuck
insane
yourself
questions
over
that were
there.
asked, and instead claiming that I wasn't targeted for my political beliefs.
You're
Why'd
not a
y'all ask me
citizen.
about
You're a
Trump,
guest
Israel,
over there.
Houthis, Hamas, and my Twitch bans then? Attaching this image, which is of the tweet that we read, along with this section from an NBC News article, where it says, Piker disputed DHS's response. What part of a lawful routine inspection requires DHS to question me about my political views, my opinions on Donald Trump, or my stance on Israel and Palestine? He said in a statement to NBC News. The agent was cordial, but the experience, along with reports of other Americans facing similar questioning, seems intended to create a chilling effect on speech. As a taxpayer, I believe CBP agents should be focusing on actual threats, like preventing agricultural risks or combating trafficking, not interrogating people about their political beliefs. And Darth Joestar replies, note to all the haters enjoying this, if it can happen to Hasan, it can happen to any one of us eventually. Trump is testing the waters with this. New York Shade replies to Hasan by saying, literally nobody believes your side of the story. And Sprague says, you blindly believe what the government says now? I'm sorry, tweets out this clip of the caption, Asimov is jealous of Hasan being renowned and celebrated for his work. Says
Gotta
he's
love
a
the
streamer
drama
acting
kids,
like
right?
a journalist.
Really interesting.
Hasan
was
sounds
in
like a
the
drama kid,
actionable
right?
side of
All the
things,
people who
they
are
also asked,
trying to
have
do
you
a
ever
crusade for
interviewed
Hasan
a
sound
member
like
of
drama
Hamas?
kids.
Have you ever had a communication or correspondence with a member of Hamas, Hezbollah, or the Houthis? Now, what's really fucking insane about that is that as someone who works in media, sometimes I do actually do journalism, right? As I've maintained this position over and over again, and I said that I would.
Journalism is when you tell people that they're like anime characters. I don't want to be too particularly mean, but if Hasan was as big of a journalist as he claims he would be, maybe Bernie Sanders would sit down with him for more than 15 minutes. I'm trying to be mean, but you're a streamer. Stop trying to act like you're a journalist.
Would have given the opportunity to talk to someone that is a part of the Ansar Allah
the
movement,
Bernie
a Houthi,
Sanders.
or even Hamas, or even Hezbollah, right?
Nobody would be criticizing that. And you guys remember, I defended him interviewing this guy until I watched it and I saw the entire thing myself. Because I agree with this in essence, but not in this practice.
I think that I have the right to do so. And what was interesting, you don't do journalism, you grift. I know, Chatter. That's why the fucking federal government is trying to arrest me. Yes, because I'm
Like no one's knocking you trying to talk to people who have done some horrendous shit, like drug lords and stuff like that. But at the same time, were you really doing journalist? Were you really a neutral party asking questions and trying to get certain answers from him? No, you weren't. You were literally sucking his cock. Like what?
grifting too hard. That's what it is. Thank you. Yes, you're
So the federal government is trying to arrest him because he's doing. Okay, I get it.
fucking dumbass slop trooper
Yes.
is correct. I'm grifting.
I'm gonna have to say that I don't think that he's grifting. Like, I think he believes what he's saying. I think the entire idea of saying somebody's grifting is stupid. Like, somebody is grifting whenever they believe something and then they do the opposite. Yeah, I don't know what to say. And so one chatter, no, and the thing is, like, he gonna get mad about that. That's it. He's lying. He hates his fan base. I don't want to get into that.
And Hasan himself quoted by saying, "Not gonna lie, I'd rather be me than Asmongold any day of the week. Truly impressive that he's still living in his rot this way. I probably would have improved my living standards or found a swifter method to end
this is
the
where he
internal
got.
pain of existence."
I think because Hasan watched Asmongold's reaction, and he got mad at some of the comments that Asmongold made. Because he fucking Asmongold made that fucking Bernie Sanders joke at it. He got so
in
mad
his
about that.
situation. And Blakely replies, "I'm never gonna get over the fact that his place was so filthy, he had roaches crawling on him. That legit traumatized me." Wade Out replies, "Self-aggrandizement into a personal attack, into a S joke. Yep, this is a good tweet." Probable Spam says, "You have a rotten soul." John Willow replies to Hasan by saying, "You are the single most insecure person on planet Earth. You obsess over
I mean,
everything people..."
I wouldn't say he's insecure. The dude is shameless to the core, right? He doesn't give a fuck, right? I mean, I would say maybe some of the comments are getting to him, but I mean that's his fault. He's the one who fucking caused it. Ask and you shall receive, bitch.
Will critique you over and try to project it on everyone else. Compared to you, Asmongold has basically no insecurities. He shares every gross thing about himself and doesn't care. Kazu quotes Hasan and says, "Guy who tells people to off themselves 30 times a day and throws around the 41% insult. Hey man, S jokes aren't cool." Nuxtaku quotes
the 41% is the whole suicide rate shit. That's what that is.
Hasan and says, "Bro used a dictionary to tell Asmongold to end himself." Dead Domain quotes Hasan by saying, "Hasan telling Asmon, if I were you, I'd have either cleaned my house or ended it all. I'm sorry, Hasan. I wasn't familiar with your game." Over on the H3 subreddit, ModCon posts this.
Yeah, I saw this. Someone made a
meme with a caption, "The
fucking,
Ethan Kleins of the world."
Well, it wasn't this one in particular, but there was another one that was Asmongold found, or someone posted on. Oh, it's so good because it encompasses exactly what Hasan does all the time. Hold on. Oh yeah, there's this one too. This isn't the one I'm talking about. But this is the one he usually does all the. Right, this is literally word for word what he does all the fucking time. And then he starts squirming when people call him out. He's just like, "No, I didn't say that. I said this." Yeah, this one. Okay, I have to go higher viewer count, stupid slop tuber piece. Wait, what? I don't know what that is. Or it didn't happen with Houthis, Ethan Klein. Right wing extremist. Wait, what? Daddy, help, please. Right wing extremists. Daddy, help, please. That one is because I think some of Hasan's family are in the right political atmosphere for Turkey, so that's probably why they're making that joke. Or actually, his family is in was in politics at one point. I don't know if there still are. Viewers, political stress. And is this the Anne Frank one? Would have killed Nazi. Goddamn. Free Diddy, I love parties. Twitch, don't ban me. Arrested by TSA because of conspiracy. Freedom of speech is dead. Why can't I support terrorism? Oh man, that's so good.
And it shows Hasan on a bike and then it's sticking a stick between the wheel saying, support for terror groups. America deserved 9/11. Sword, platforming ban Emma Panda, end Rick Scott, Diddy parties, and then him falling over saying, fucking Ethan Klein. Asmund continues to respond when he tweets out this clip with the caption. Asmund says he takes no responsibility in Hasan being detained, but wishes he did. Says the questioning was valid.
I take absolutely no responsibility in Hasan getting detained, but I wish I did. The fact is that he does support terrorist propaganda, and by any, like, again, the honest question, would you want the TSA, and ask yourself the question, would you want the TSA and the people that are vetting the individuals coming inside of our country to do additional questioning towards people that have a record for supporting known terror groups? Would you want them to do that? And I think the answer to that is absolutely yes. 100% yes. And I think even he would say that. He would have to say that. How would you say no to this? So if anything, this is a huge
I mean,
W.
he
You're a
supports
terrorist? To some furries I am, but not to America, okay?
And Dude Man AA
He uses
says,
genocide
Hasan
as a
will
shield
blame everyone
sometimes.
but himself. Pamphlets blog tweets out this screenshot of a New York Post article where the title is, Liberal loudmouth streamer Hasan Piker claims he was detained by a U.S. immigration official.
No, even the fucking New York Post is. Get fucked.
And Hasan replies, that's a banger. They got my ass. Shout out to our tier 3 members, internet representatives Kiko and Salsad. Thank you guys so much for the support. And I'll see you all in the next episode.
Oh man, fucking way. Oh shit. All right, there we have it. Internet versus Hasan. Detainment.